And now NBC Sports, what they did is they flexed on them. Okay? They flexed on them. Here it says, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. The WNBA is coming to NBC and Peacock. So they are going on with their promo. This was put out today.
If you know, you know. That's not just a tagline. That's NBC Sports and the WNBA sending a message directly to the Players Association. And that message is crystal clear. We're moving forward with or without you. This promo dropped today, February 2025, while CBA negotiations remain completely stalled. No deal signed, no agreement reached. But the league and their new broadcast partner just told 444 WNBA players that they are replaceable.
This is the W. This spring, NBC, Peacock, WNBA. Listen, I hope y'all WNBA players is paying attention. They will replace y'all asses. They have Caitlin Clark. They have Paige Beckers under contract. They have Angel Reese. They have replacement players they can go get. They have a slew of rookies they are about to draft. Nneka Ogwumike, if you don't play, I think the fans will be just okay.
Think about what we just heard. Breanna Stewart talking about tricks up her sleeve. Players threatening to cause a scene at NBA All-Star Weekend. That's not negotiation strategy. That's desperation. Because while the players' union is planning protests and social media campaigns, the league already moved to checkmate. They've got Caitlin Clark under contract. They've got Paige Buckers about to be drafted. They've got Angel Reese locked in. And they've got an entire draft class of replacement players ready to go if the veterans decide to sit out.
Right here, I think this is an absolute abomination. Nike dropping the ball. Here it says, Nike confirmed to Adweek it will not run a commercial during Super Bowl 60 this year, so there won't be a Nike X Caitlin Clark spot during the game. Listen, man, this don't make sense. Caitlin Clark's sneakers are about to drop this year. We could have got the promo and the heat going already. We could have been stirring the pot already, but y'all keep dropping the ball. It's almost like y'all.
Nike confirmed to Adweek they will not run a commercial during Super Bowl 60 this year. No Caitlin Clark spot during the biggest advertising moment in sports. Her signature sneaker drops in 2025 and Nike just passed on 120 million viewers to promote it. This is the same company that turned Michael Jordan into a global icon with Super Bowl ads. The same company that built their entire brand on moments exactly like this. And they're sitting it out. Why? Because they're afraid of the backlash from players who already resent Clark's popularity. Afraid of disrupting whatever delicate balance they think exists in women's basketball.
Is that what you did? Is that what you did? Because y'all act like y'all couldn't have put that Asia Wilson thing on the back burner and dropped the CC immediately, which would have been the smartest move anyway. Come on, man. If Asia Wilson, for every 100 shoes Asia Wilson is selling, Caitlin Clark is selling 1,500. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? Y'all act like y'all scared to promote the girl. This is nuts. Y'all got the biggest star in women's sports, the biggest star damn near in basketball.
Here's the math that Nike doesn't want to acknowledge. For every 100 pairs of Asia Wilson shoes they sell, Caitlin Clark would sell 1,500. That's not speculation. That's based on search volume data, social media engagement metrics, and jersey sales. From Clark's rookie season, she outsold every other WNBA player combined in merchandise during the 2024 season. But Nike signed her to keep her away from competitors, then refuses to actually promote her. They gave Asia Wilson the primetime push. They gave Sabrina Ionescu the signature campaigns, and they're treating their biggest asset like a liability.
Let's go over to Front Office Sports. Shout out to Annie Scoops. Here where it says WNBA owners make small concessions in latest CBA proposal. Now, I want to say this. I have not seen anything that the WNBA players, have actually agreed to compromise on. All the compromises I've seen have actually come from the WNBA themselves. All the compromises have come from the owners. We watched them not want to pay for y'all's apartments, not want to pay for y'all rental cars, and in the latest offer, it seems they're still offering to pay.
WNBA owners make small concessions in latest CBA proposal. That headline tells you everything about who's actually cognizing in these negotiations. The league sent a counter-offer Friday night after 6 weeks of silence. They increased the salary cap from $5 million to $5.65 million per team. They agreed to 2 developmental roster spots that the union requested. They're offering studio apartments for minimum salary players during the first 3 years of the deal. They compromised on pregnant player trade consent. Every single movement in these negotiations has come from the owner's side.
What are the players compromising on? That is what I would like to know. That's what I would like to know. Here it says, after 6 weeks with no response, WNBA players have received a counteroffer to the collective bargaining agreement they proposed to the league in December. The league sent the union to the new proposal Friday night. In its latest proposal, the league made marginal changes to its proposed revenue sharing percentage. Sources familiar with negotiations told Front Office Sports. According to these same sources, the league is still proposing the same revenue sharing system. The WNBA is proposing.
So what have the players compromised on? Name one thing. The players' union proposed a $10.5 million salary cap. The league came back at $5.65 million. That's not a negotiation. That's the union making demands completely disconnected from revenue reality. The players want 50% revenue sharing. The league's latest offer doesn't even reach 15%. And the Players Association hasn't budged an inch from their initial proposal submitted back in December. Breanna Stewart, Nneka Ogwumike, and the rest of the union leadership keep talking about compromise, while refusing to actually demonstrate it.
Re-engaged with the union's push for team-provided housing in a limited capacity. The union previously proposed 2 developmental player roster spots, which the league conceded to in its last proposal. So we've seen the WNBA compromise yet again, adding 2 developmental spots on rosters. That's a compromise. What are the players compromising on, y'all? Here it says, they will also have access to certain benefits like housing and medical. The WNBA is proposing studio apartments for these players. 1-bedroom apartments will be provided for.
Remember what Caitlin Clark said at the Olympic trials in July 2024? She was asked about the CBA negotiations, and she said both sides needed to compromise, not just the owners. Both sides. She understood something that the veteran players apparently don't. You can't demand NBA-level compensation when you're generating a fraction of NBA-level revenue. The WNBA's new media rights deal with NBC, ESPN, and Amazon is worth $2.2 billion over 11 years. That's $200 million per year. The NBA's deal is worth $76 billion over 11 years. That's $6.9 billion per year. The WNBA deal is 3% the size of the NBA deal. So explain how WNBA players deserve 50% revenue sharing, when NBA players get 50% of a number that's 34 times larger.
Compromise. We've seen the owners compromise. We have not seen anything that the players are willing to compromise on. And that's all Caitlin Clark said from the door when she was at the Olympic tryouts, was that the players also needed to compromise. And yet we haven't found one thing that they have compromised on. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Just keep the video.
Here's what makes this moment so significant for the future of women's professional basketball. The WNBA just proved they're willing to call the players' bluff. NBC Sports isn't waiting for a signed CBA to start promoting their investment. They're running ads. They're building hype. They're treating this like the season is happening no matter what. And that fundamentally changes the leverage in these negotiations. Because think about what happens if the veteran players actually try to sit out. Breanna Stewart doesn't play. Nneka Ogwumike doesn't play. Aja Wilson doesn't play. What happens? The league runs with Caitlin Clark, Paige Bueckers, Angel Reese, Cameron Brink coming back from her ACL tear, and an entire draft class featuring talents like Kiki Iriafen, Azzi Fudd, and Olivia Miles. Casual fans who started watching because of Clark don't care if Breanna Stewart is on the court. They came for Clark. They'll stay for Clark. The league knows this. NBC knows this. And now the players are starting to realize it too. That's why we're seeing threats about causing scenes at All-Star Weekend, instead of actual negotiation progress. The union thought they had leverage because of the new TV deal. They thought the league couldn't afford a work stoppage right when national media attention is finally arriving. They miscalculated. The league has replacement players who are actually more popular than many of the veterans. That's unprecedented in professional sports labor negotiations. Look at the specifics of what the league offered. Studio apartments for players making minimum salary. That's approximately $76,000 for rookies in 2025 under the current CBA. One-bedroom apartments for players with 0 years of service. But only through 2029. Then it phases out. The league is saying, we'll help you get started. But this isn't permanent. If you make more than minimum salary, you're on your own for housing. That's reasonable. That's how it works in every other professional league. The players wanted full housing for everyone regardless of salary. They wanted rental cars provided. They wanted the season to start later, to accommodate overseas players. The league said no to most of it, compromised on some of it, and is now moving forward with or without agreement. That's not the league being unreasonable. That's the league understanding their actual financial situation. WNBA revenue for 2024 was approximately $200 million. Player salaries under the current CBA are around $30 million total across all teams. That's 15% going to players. The league is offering to keep it right around that percentage, with the new deal just with higher total numbers because revenue is growing. The players want to jump immediately to 50%. That would mean $100 million in player salaries, when the league is barely breaking even at current spending levels. The math doesn't work. And Caitlin Clark understood that, back in July. She knew that demanding unsustainable compensation would threaten the league's stability. She knew that the growth needs to come first. Then the salaries follow. But the veterans leading the union don't want to hear that. They've spent years playing overseas because WNBA salaries weren't enough. They see the new TV deal and think it's finally their payday. They're not wrong to want more money. They're wrong about how much more is actually available right now. NBC and the WNBA dropping that promotional campaign today wasn't an accident. It was strategic. It was a public message that negotiations are over. The league made their final offer. Take it or leave it. And if you leave it, we'll play the season anyway, with the players who actually want to be here. That's hardball. That's the kind of negotiating tactic you use when you know you hold the cards. So what happens next? The players can accept the deal and start preparing for the 2025 season, with meaningful salary increases and better working conditions than they've ever had. Or they can refuse, try to organize a work stoppage, and watch the league move forward without them while their replacements become the new faces of the WNBA. Breanna Stewart's tricks better be pretty damn good. Because right now the league just told her that her leverage is gone. What do you think the players should do? Accept the league's final offer, or risk everything on a work stoppage? Drop your take in the comments. Because this decision is going to define the WNBA for the next decade.